Well, hello, model car enthusiasts out there. Welcome back to the second episode, guys, of the Model Car Enthusiast Podcast. We are so happy to be here. Well, some of us are happy. A couple of these guys might not be that happy, but you know. But man, we've got a cool subject today, and we're just going to talk until we switch it off, or however it goes. Sorry, listeners. But you know what? I'm just going to. I'm not great at this. I screwed up introductions. I say last names and first names and everybody's name wrong. I'm going to go around and let everybody else just introduce themselves. And we'll start with this guy up here, and we'll go around that way. So hit it, Chris.
Well, hello, everybody. I'm Chris Martin here from the Sprue, here to share my thoughts and views that may or may not match those of the podcast.
They probably won't.
Probably won't. I'm pretty sure we'll step on some toes today, but who cares?
As
usual, Pappy Fred Henry from West Georgia Rods and Customs. You can find me here on the YouTubes, or you can find me on Facebook and Instagram, and causing all kind of trouble through social media. So we're going to have a great show today. We got a lot to talk about and a short time to get there. And I'm going to carry it down to this little fella down here, right here. I can't even touch him right now. So, Irv, take it away.
My name's Irvin Arter, and I am from the Arterake channel. I'm on YouTube, and if you want to come to South Carolina, you can find me there.
And I'm
South Carolina.
And I'm Tim Brown at Throttle Power, where it's all about the throttle, and I'm only here to cause trouble.
That's usually what you do best. Yeah.
Here we go.
So we got two guys here, Tim and Chris. It's their first time being on the show, but we've all been on the roster, and who knows, if anybody else jumps in while we're recording, that's fine too. But today, the subject we're going to talk about, and this is one that's near and dear and kind of has ran my channel for the past 8 years, is the are you a hoarder? Or as I was accused at one time, it's people like me who have all these kits that are wrecking the hobby. But we're going to go on a little slant that this was inspired by a video that Chris over here suggested we watch and check it out. So I'll kind of let him talk a little more about it. Look at Irv.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
He won't stop. He just won't stop.
Going off already.
But
well, yeah.
Yeah, we want to discuss on this one how most model car, and it seems to be mostly in the model car hobby, but I think all modelers have this problem. Oh, look at that! right now, that's all that Fred has, because he, as you can see, his walls are all clean. He's moving out. He's got everything packed.
You can bet I got my two favorite ones.
Yeah.
in the house.
There
right
he
now.
is.
So I'm gonna wear this as my hat, and this is.
It's a good hat.
It's a good
hat.
That's not a bad look on me. Hell, it's kind of
there we
go.
But
really brings out your eyes.
We want to discuss: are we collectors or are we just hoarding these kits, and why are we hoarding these kits, and what moves us in having a huge collection? We call them a collection, but are we actually collecting? So it's really the difference between, I want to, let's be nice. Let's not call it hoarding. Let's call it gathering. And we have a purpose for why we have all these kits. And Chris, why don't you kind of explain the whole subject a little better than I can? You were the one who found that video. It was a really cool video. What was that video? We can send everybody. I'll put a link down in the description for people who want to go look at that video. It was pretty good. It was done by some sci-fi builders, but it's all the same. So it's model kits or model kits, man. They have the same problem we do.
Yeah, it was the feller's name that the channel that the video was on is Jason Spacestock, and it was kind of a little podcast thing that him and another guy are doing, but it was basically, it's like, are we hoarding or are we collecting? The terms that they use, we might have a little bit different terminology here, but I guess the when you get down to it, the basic premise is, why do you have a collector? Why do you buy all of the kits that you do, if you do? I mean, there are people that will just build what they have, and then when they finish that one, they buy another one and build that one. And I admire their self-control to be able to do that, because
Yeah.
it's not something that I've been able to do.
And you couldn't today, could you?
No, personally, I couldn't. Given my line of work and what I do, it wouldn't be possible. But I guess there's many different views to take on why you would build up such a collection as some of us do. And I think when it comes to myself, and I'll just pick on Matt because, well, we all pick on Matt.
Yeah.
But another thing, too, that some people need to take into consideration, especially folks that are maybe new to the hobby, have only been doing it for a few years. When you get people like myself and Matt that have been collecting, we've been buying kits for 30, 40 years, it's not like all of this just kind of happened all at once. It's like, okay, you start with one kit, and if you stay in the hobby for your entire life, you just end up amassing things. So, like, do you buy them just to have them is one way to look at it. Do you buy them because something is interesting to you and you don't know if you're ever going to be able to see it again, if it's going to be available again, so you get it when you can if you are able? Or do you buy certain kits knowing that you want to be able to build it, but you don't feel that your skills are up to par the way you want to build it? So, like, if you might buy a kit that inspires you to work up your skills, like if you want to be able to build it a certain way, like if you want to heavily customize it, or if you want to add some aftermarket components, or if you want to get like the perfect paint job on that particular build, but you don't feel you're up to it, so you buy the kit to have it, and you work your skills towards the goal of being able to build it the way so that your finished product matches what's stuck in your head when you bought it.
Yeah. Almost, and there's even other reasons too, but almost as far as for me, my whole collection, hoard, whatever it is, stash, we all like to use that word, stash, really kind of encompasses what we all got.
Right.
Is
you have to kind of be, you have to kind of, narrow that down to which stash.
Let's call it a stash. I mean, what drives me from the very beginning, it's pretty much all those things and a couple others. Now, we look at and I know of people that are flat out collectors. They buy up kits. They enjoy having a collection, and
Matthew Inman.
Matthew is a great example of that, because he was really wanting to have a collection of kits that mean something to him, and I'm kind of like, I'm a little bit of all of it. The majority of my stash is all purpose done. I bought everything over the years because I wanted to have these kits, and it was kind of like I'd look at a kit and immediately get an idea. So every kit at the beginning was bought, and I say at the beginning, was bought to build. As 40 years have gone on, some of those kits that were cheap or whatever, and they could have been old at the time when I bought them, they have gained a lot of value, and it's almost like and it's a cool kit, and it almost kind of moves over more into the collecting end. It's like I have one section now that is old kits that are complete kits, and I still might. There isn't really any kits that I say I'll never build that because it's collectible. Because if I want to build it, I'm going to build it. That's what they were made for. But I do lean a little bit towards the collecting side of it too, because, and I've talked about this, box art is a huge thing for me. I love the box art. It's like an old song on the radio, or a smell, or takes you back to another time in your life. Box art does that to me too, because I remember my early days, I'd go into the hobby shop when I would buy one kit, go home and build it, and I thought you couldn't buy more kits that way. So I'd sit there pick the kit I'm going to build and then dream about all the other ones. And there was always these certain kits that I'd gravitate to. And now that I do have them in my stash, and I almost have them because of that, I always wanted it. I enjoy the box art. So a lot of different reasons. And one that I'm sure Fred and I are going to agree with is, it's the same kit, is the, sorry Fred, if we were in the same state, he'd probably shut my eye for me for saying this, but it's the 67 Chevelle Pro Street. I've got a lot of those because that kit works in so many different other bodies and other kits. And
every time you say it, every time one of y'all says that, I'm going to put the hat on.
You should. You should just leave that on.
It looks like you're at the racetrack.
Yeah. He's at the
old days when guys would make cool hats and go to the racetrack.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's perfect. You should do something like, I dare you to walk around Acme like that. There you go. There's a challenge for you. You wear that.
Bad enough I got to walk around. It's bad enough I got to walk around Acme in a couple of weeks with a Foot Locker shirt on.
Oh gosh.
Anyhow, you know, and I'm kind of going to piggyback on what Matt says.
Yeah.
But you know, our hobby, which is collecting, hoarding, whatever you want to call it, or building, it kind of coincides with back in the years ago. I know my brother was an avid album collector. He loved vintage vinyl, still does, and he would buy it because it was probably his favorite artist, but there was usually a great song on it. And that's one of the things that he passed to me, was kind of, love of music. I mean, you look at some of the great box art that we've, that in our hobby, and then you look at some of the great album covers that was in his generation I look, like, oh my God. And this is one of them. This is one. I remember the album, and I remember when it came out, and I remember even to this day, I know, and it's kind of like, we had great music in those albums, but we had great styrene in these boxes. And the album that he brought home, it was The Who. Who's Next?
Oh,
and it was showed a big brick. If y'all remember the album, everybody done took a leak on the wall.
One.
And it was that one. And it had some great music on it. And same thing, it kind of parallels, with our hobby as are we builders or are we collectors or hoarders or what have you? And just like what Matt and before we started the recording, I told him, I said, the first one of y'all that says anything about a 67 Chevelle AMT Pro Street Kit, I'm gonna punch you. But nobody got punched in this. But no. I mean, I buy that kit. Do I hoard it? Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be upfront and honest with y'all. We're in the middle of moving. I counted how many I had prior to sending them to our storage building the other day, and oh my God, I was like, I did not realize I had that many. I didn't have 2. I have 50 of that.
50?
Am I buying it?
Wow, you got me beat. Look at it. Put the hat on. Put the box on your head now. You leave that on.
Yeah.
I got 2.
Okay.
I've got 6.
So I had to, and I reevaluate, am I a collector? Will I ever see that? And I hear the scuttlebutt now of, they're never going to, AMT's not going to release that kit again. I'm calling BS on that.
Yeah.
They'll probably come to me and go, we broke the mold because you own all the kits, but can we buy them back? Yeah, I'll be glad to sell them back to you. But no, the only reason that, I am actually in my second full build of this kit. I built this one right here. It's on top of my head. I built it a while back, maybe about 2 years ago. Kit form. I did some, I took some creative liberties on it. I put a cowl inducted hood on it. I lowered it, kind of like what I'm doing in this box stock build that that I'm doing right now. But this is the second time I've ever built this platform of this particular kit, and I'm having a blast at it. I'm building it in box stock form. I'm not doing plug wires. I'm not flocking it. I'm not plumbing it. I'm building it, but I'm putting my spin on it. having a great time. That's all that matters is, you know, we're having a great time doing this. It's just like, you know, Matt says in every one of his videos, you know, why are we in this hobby? Because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, this isn't the only kit that I've got multiples of. And like what Chris was talking about just a minute ago about, you know, do we buy these kits and then, you know, go to a progressive, you know, do we progress to each one as our skills become better? You know, and everybody, I mean, look, guys, I build for myself. I build for shows. I build for magazine content. I mean, I write for Auto Modeler magazine. I do, you know, content creation for my own channel here on YouTube. But, you know, I mean, is there kits out there that I buy and I have in my collection or hoarding or whatever you want to call it that I'm tempted or, you know, that are kind of scary to me? You know, I'm like, and y'all go, I'm scared of a kit. I've got one out there that I bought probably 10 years ago. It's an Aoshima, I want to say it's a Lamborghini. I can't remember. All my kits are boxed up and they're in storage, so I can't walk out there and grab it right now. But it has gull wing doors. And am I scared of that kit? I ain't scared of it, but I'm just not. I just don't feel like I'm ready and tempted enough to go and build that kit right now. So it's in my collection, and I have bought. I got to get this off my head.
Oh, come on.
I'll put it back on next time somebody says.
Hold on. Can I just point out one thing? That
Absolutely.
Fred is sitting in an empty room with a model box on his head. I just want to point that out.
I need 30.
Go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Anytime shut Pappy up. So, but I mean, is there kits out there that I'm kind of not scared of? I mean, I am, but I ain't. But you know, everybody's not at the same levels as some people. I mean, I look at builders, and I'm gonna name drop. I mean, you've got your Clay Kemps, you've got your Jay Savarises, you got your Doug Whites, and you got Randy Durr. Oh my God, these are guys that I look up to, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, their builds are impeccable. They're museum quality builds, and you know, are they hoarders? Are they collectors? You know, that's something, you know. We're just weeks on the heels of the Acme Southern Nationals coming up here in about, I think, 3 weeks now. And I'm sure I'm going to run across these guys. And I'm going to be part of my content creation. I'm going to ask them. I'm going to approach them. Clay, do you have a great big stash? Oh, boy, I got to be careful how I ask that. But Clay, do you have a large collection of models, you know, that's unbuilt in your stash? And I'm just kind of wondering, either I'm going to get punched in the nose or Clay's going to answer something, but to that. But we talked about Matt. I mean, Matthew Inman. I mean, I've seen, I haven't seen it personally, but just off of the videos, and he and I talking, and he and I doing lives sometimes together. I've seen what he's got, and I'm just like, gosh, dude, man, and here we are, me and Vicky are getting ready to possibly move to another location. And yesterday we went looking for a new home, and that was one of the things that's on our list that we're looking for is when we move, I'm needing a space for my collection of unbuilt models, which is probably going to be out in a garage, but we're also looking for a fourth, like a bonus room, fourth bedroom, to where it will be exclusively for, the building, the assembling. Well, I just throwed another wrench out there. I'm doing it for the building, the assembling, the content creation, for all of our, for all of our viewers and everything. Studio, right? Yeah. I mean, it's an art studio, but then again, too, it's going to be a content creation studio for getting our hobby out to everyone out there on, via the podcast or our YouTube channels.
Yeah.
So,
well, back to the '67 Chevelle, like my whole reason why
I just want to see me put that back.
Yeah, go ahead, put it back on. Get it back on there. The '67 Chevelle, I've bought a lot of those kits and I've used them. I built one as the '67 Chevelle once, and maybe one day I'll build it again. The '67 Chevelle isn't particularly one of my favorite years of the Chevelle. It's probably my least favorite Chevelle out of all the Chevelles. But that chassis and everything about that kit, it fits in so many GM mid-size bodies from the early 60s on into the late even into the early 80s and stuff like that. It's such a versatile chassis. If you, like me, I like to build Pro Street or like super stock race cars is one of my favorite subject matters. So anytime I see a good deal on one of those, I love to grab it because it's just just such a versatile chassis to use with those type of builds. And there's a lot of kits like that. And of course, my love of NASCAR building, I love building the NASCAR race cars from the 80s. So probably the most abundant that I have in my stash is, and it keeps on growing now that Salvino's JR Models has taken over the monogram molds, are the old monogram 80s NASCAR race cars. One of my most favorite subjects. I have tons of them. And I also use those chassis for other things too, especially like the Ford Thunderbirds. I like that particular chassis that's in the Ford Thunderbird kits, and I use that in under other bodies. So the collection gets big because I do have a specific use for this stuff, and when I see them, especially when they go cheap, I snag that stuff because I may or may never use it, obviously, but I have it in case I need it. And then there's times, sometimes, okay, I've got quite a bit. I might knock a chunk off and take it to a swap meet and make a little bit of money. And usually that money goes into buying more kits. So it's just a never-ending cycle. But over the years, being that I've been doing this now, we're into my 40th year of getting into this hobby. Some of them have moved to collector, where I guess you could say I do have like a small little museum collecting thing. And I've gotten my hands on some holy grails that I have strategically placed where they're kind of showing, and I enjoy that part of it. I do like the Red Alert Chevelle. I know I'll never build that because I have other versions of that Chevelle. I always wanted it because that's such an iconic kit from AMT, and I got one for a really great price, and it sits on the shelf it's right up here. And I see it every day, and it's just kind of a monument to the hobby.
Is that what's glowing up there?
Yeah, that's where I get a lot of my light sources. The Red Alert right there, and then I have one of those Aurora engines from the large scale. That was another holy grail with those Aurora engines that all function, all that. So I got those up. That's my light source for making my videos here at this bench. But
and too, man, also, which my love affair with this particular one on top of my head right here, back before 3D printing came along, became popular, let me put it that way. This is why I bought the hat I got on my head, because they were great to either use. They were a great platform to build a Pro Street on. They were a great platform to back calf. I mean, you wouldn't believe how many of these I butchered.
Oh yeah.
Before the MCV products, started coming out with this great back, and Matt, even with the Lucas C products. I mean, my God, he was selling this back. Well, it wasn't this particular back calf. It was the one. I don't remember which one you patterned it from, but you were making that back calf readily available. And now with the oncoming of 3D printing, now guess what? My value in these, just if I wanted to sell them, it just plummeted, because everybody's buying the back calves now that are 3D printed. So now I got to build all 50 of these damn things. So
better get to work. Hey,
I'm working
Tim.
on one now.
Hey Tim, so do you have? I know you're someone, you always have a good stash going because you're constantly buying, and I see behind you have some multiples behind you. but I know that you're also someone who you end up liquidating and then buying more. You don't let it get too out of hand, but you do have your special ones you like to have on stock, but you don't really worry about collecting it all, or do you?
No, I don't know. Kind of what all Chris said and all the above. I just kind of buy what I like. Sadly, I went down the rabbit hole of military. I got a lot of tanks.
Yeah. Yep, you do.
A lot of airplanes. Gundams. Gundams are hot, man. I love a Gundam.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I get burnt out on building models, so I'll do a Slump Buster kit, and it'll be one of those.
Yeah.
Tim, I swear to God, if you say our buddy build next year is going to be a Gundam, I'm going to come up there and I'm going to poke your eyes out.
Dang.
I'm going to go, how do I Pro Street a Gundam? Take one of them 50 Pro Street Chevelles you got and do it, dummy.
Next stuff. Love doing all that stuff. I don't know. I love model building, and I like doing all kinds of different stuff. Gotten into some figures. Go to Wonderfest and pick up a figure or two every year. I got some figures. And then my other problem is when I'm at a swap meet and I see a good deal, I got to get it. I can't pass up a good deal. Like a chip.
Oh no, I know. I'm with Tim. I'll see somebody and I usually gravitate toward them toward the end of the show, and I'll be like, hey, I tell you what, and then we do that. You know, I do that. The pickers. You know, I go, you want to load that stuff back to your car or truck or van or trailer? I give you $5 a kit right there. And if it's something that I know that I really might want or something, and I'm sitting there going, no, you already got 50 of them at the house, so no. I'll give you $2 for every 67 Chevelle kit you got.
Never have too many.
And the funny thing about it though is Tim's been around me at the shows enough to know that he knows what I'm looking for, and he'll be. One day I forgot what show we were at. Tim looks over at me and he holds up a flipping 67 Chevelle kit and goes, "Look what I found." I'm like, "Boy, don't make me come over and buy that."
You got to put the hat on now.
Oh God!
Get it on there. Get it on there.
Hey, he started it.
Yeah,
he started
it's mostly your fault.
That's right, Irv.
Yeah. So Irv, how many 67? How many 67 Chevelles do you have, or is there a particular kit that you really stock up on?
Well, I only have two 67s.
How dare you?
Pro Street ones.
I give you $5.
And I just got them. I got them within the last 2 years. Like I always liked the Rebel version of the 67 as a car better. But I'm not I can take or leave the Pro Street stuff. I've done a few, but I agree with what Fred said about since I parted out more Rebel 69 Camaros, 67 Chevelles for the parts, like the steering wheels. So they were my favorite wheels in there. The 67 Corvette by Rebel. I've parted those kits out by cases of them. But now with 3D printing, it's changed a lot. And especially for me with Ryan over at Z-Force, I'm getting product that I don't need to part all these kits out that I used to. So I do part out. I would say I part out a lot more kits than probably most people do. But I always considered myself a builder with a collecting problem.
That's a good one.
I build a lot. I really do. And I can't keep up. I mean, my especially like we were talking the other day about, I thought my collection was around 300. I've always tried to keep it kind of like within that area. So I started counting, and I counted at least 500 to 600. So I don't know if it's COVID. After COVID, I just started stocking up, or I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the line it went off the rails. Now I don't have as many as some people do, but I have a lot of old. I was in printing for many years, so I have a lot of box art. I'm a sucker for an empty box, or these new AMT reissues of those old looking boxes. I'm a sucker for each one of them. I am. I have a ton of the new ones, even though I have the old ones, I still buy the new ones. So
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for the box art.
Yeah, I have a few kind of around, as decoration. I do have a few empty boxes that are old classic boxes. I don't throw them away. And sometimes I'll like take the bottom and I'll put a tack in it and then slide the top on, and they're nice and light, and you can stick them to the wall. And it's a cool look. I got like a few, and I've got like some '60s vintage ones that are hanging up on the wall over here. I'm a sucker for the box art, man. That's almost turned into another part of the hobby for me.
I can tell y'all how to
look at that.
not collect so much.
Oh, you're gonna wreck it.
Move.
That's a lie.
That was a life. This is a life shocking experience. Is when you get into a room this size, and that's why we're in this white room. I feel like I feel like it needs to be padded some days, but this old room right here, and we were talking about this earlier before we started recording, that this is the old room that everybody used to see that was yellow, and now it's white. But the reality really hit me was when I did the video not too long ago on my channel about having to get ready to move. And I was just like, I walked in here on a Saturday morning with a cup of coffee, and I was like, oh my God, I got to move all this stuff out. I got to box it up. I got to do this. And this was all my assembled kits are the ones that I've already built. And they were on the shelves. They were in the containers. And I had to box all them up and get them, where they're not going to get damaged or anything like that. Because, guys, as well as I do, what we've built is our art.
Yes.
And I went yesterday, which was Saturday, Vicky and I went up to we've got to get some of these rooms cleaned out. And this was one of them in order for us to proceed, to the next room. So we had to go get a little storage, 10 by 15 storage building. At a local storage place up here, and it needed to be climate controlled because I just don't want to stick that stuff out there where it's 120 degrees, 32 degrees when it gets in the winter or something like that. So when I walked in, I told the guy my needs, and and I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to be storing some artwork, is how I referred to it at, and he thought I was talking, stuff that you hang on the walls, and I told him, I said, and I showed him, these are model cars. He's like, wow. He said, man, it looks like you could stick a key in these things and drive them. I'm like, well, technically it is. I mean, they look, that's our art. And, but that's one of the things how to, it kind of brings you back down to earth, after, you've collected for so long. And then you go, one of these days you're going to have to either move or you're going to, pass away, and then somebody else has got to clean it out for you, which I'd be all right with that. Because I've already told Vicky, I said, I swear to God, if I die and you go out here and you tell somebody, $2 a kit, I'm gonna come back and haunt you. especially $2 for every one of these I've got.
Oh my goodness, those are valuable.
But no, she knows the value. I mean, she knows the value of each and every one of them. So, but I think it ought to be a law that you ought to move at least every 10 years. That way you don't hoard or collect.
It doesn't work.
What we're talking about.
I'm going to tell you right now that doesn't work. Yeah, Chris just moved. I moved. I'm. And I was hoping this would be my last move. It's probably not going to be. Looking like I might be moving across country here within the next few years. And I've already moved my stash across country 2 times back in the 90s. It wasn't that big back then, but it was a good size. And that was half of it got shipped and the other half kind of rolled with me, literally, because I ended up breaking an axle and rolling my truck in Mississippi when I was moving to Virginia. That's another story. It's a fun one. All my kits, I lost, out of the whole thing, I lost 1 kit in that rollover, and I had this 69 GMC 4-wheel drive, broke the axle. I had a Chevelle on a trailer. The Chevelle probably saved me. So the truck rolled and slid, and the camper shell came off, and cases of kits went flying.
Flew everywhere.
One kit got destroyed, and I'll never forget it. It was a monogram Ricky Rudd motorcraft car. It got split in half. Good. by the tailgate.
That's
and I had plenty of those, so it wasn't an issue. But for some reason, this is '92, and I remember that well. But but over the years, and the last time I kind of did a count, it was kind of an estimation, but I'm at 3,000 kits at this point. And that was probably close to what it was. Unbuilt kits. Well, some of them have been molested. If I can use that word without getting canceled. But when I moved into this house in 2019, from the last house I was at for only 3 years, and then I was at another house for 4 years. So over the past decade and a half, I've moved about 3 or 4 times. And this collection has been in that 2,000 to 3,000 kit range. I didn't learn. I just didn't learn. Okay? And now it's amassing even more. I literally have put a pause on buying, kind of, not really by choice, kind of had to, but I still end up getting kits because, like, I'm with the Salvino's JR Models. I at least get one kit a month from Salvino's JR Models Builders Club.
Yeah.
But I kind of stopped about 2 years ago because I just had to hit the brakes. But these model companies keep coming out with cool stuff or popping cool stuff. And it's like something that's a part of this subject is sometimes you don't know, you get that kit because you don't know, especially today, the model kit companies don't run a kit for long like they used to. Like, our 66 Malibu flip nose. That thing was running for decades. Yeah. It ran for decades, and it was always like, we used to have, and we don't have this so much, there were certain kits that I'll get that some other time. It's always on the shelves, and we always called them common kits. So they never went for a lot of money at the swap meets and stuff. And then all of a sudden, all the model companies just kind of stopped doing that. And they'll put a kit out for a short run, and then it's gone. And so when the kit comes out, it's like, I better go get that because next year they probably won't be doing it. And so that's put a stress on our stashes where, oh, man, I better get it because I have it. Because you might have an idea. I know I want to build that. And then I don't have a plan for it, but I know I always wanted to build that. Because I'm sure all of you get the squirrel. And I mean, I get a new idea.
I had that this morning.
I get a new idea for a build. This is another reason why the stash grows. I get a new idea for a build at least once every 15-20 minutes every day. And then I go on the hunt. It happened to me a few days ago. All of a sudden I feel the need, I don't know why, I have to have an old Monogram 85 Corvette. Don't ask me why. It happened, and now I'm obsessed. It's just, that's the kind of stuff that happens. But it's just how this hobby has evolved for me. It's probably a little bit of I probably need medication.
Take 267 Chevelle kits and call me in the morning, Matt.
Right, exactly.
But it's like if you go to and it's even worse when you go to a show because you see 10 cars that are built. That's like, I got to start one of them tonight. You go home and you start looking through your stash and you can't find it, and you go out and buy one overpriced, and then you look about a week later, you're looking through your stash and you find it, but you already just bought another one.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like this fella down here in the bottom corner, down way below me down here. He and I have been for the last couple Acme shows. We do a buddy build each year. We did 55 last year, 55 Chevrolet, which we had a great time doing that. And then we kind of sat back and we were like, do we want to do this again? Yeah, we did. And we talked back and forth about, what are we going to build? And Tim, how did we even come up with the 1/12 scale Camaro?
I don't know.
It got re-released. That's how you came up with it.
I get asked at every show. I get asked at every show about that Camaro, about yours and mine, how it's coming along. A lot of people are anxious to see them.
And when you're saying show, you're not talking model shows. You're hearing this at car shows too, aren't you?
Car shows and model shows both.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow. But that, that was, when Tim and I decided, that we're going to do this again, we kind of tossed it back and forth. And then I think it was just on, they re-released, Revell did the re-release on the 1/12 scale 69 Camaro, which the last version of that was the one that I built. It was the Foos kit that they come out with. And that was about the time I was getting, back into the hobby. And I was like, wow, big 1/12. I was like, oh, wait a minute. I remember that kit when it was the monogram kit.
Yeah, the orange
and
one.
I was like, hey, I think I'll buy. Yeah, it was the orange one. You're right. And then I thought, okay, well, Vicky bought that for me for my birthday that year. And I built it just like, kind of like a friend of mine's car and that he had. And it was, I was like, now, guess what? I got to store that big monster somewhere.
That's what keeps me from building those. Kids.
Now that we, when Tim and I was kind of, oh, trust me, it's going to be. I'm giving it away to the guy that. Yeah, but we, we talked about, what are we going to build this year, and then they re-released this kit again. But I know when Tim and I decided to build it. As the buddy build, and to be both of them to be debuted at Acme this year. The first thing, I don't know if I stole Tim's thunder or vice versa. I know the way that Tim is building his is the way that he likes it. Everybody knows that, well, I'm going to build it Pro Street no matter what. But I think Tim kind of wanted to build it as a Pro Street, but if he had, he probably wouldn't have finished it right. I'm just kidding, Tim. But anyhow, and I had, even years ago, I wanted to build that 1/12 scale Camaro as a Pro Street. The 3D printing stuff wasn't available then.
Yeah.
And when Matthew approached me from MCB Products that he is carrying the back half, the tires, the wheels, the big 572 blown engine, I'm like, I couldn't get it in my hands fast enough. And that was about the time we decided, well, we're going to do this buddy build. We're going to debut them at Acme, and I'm going to build a Pro Street one. And it's trust me, it's a handful.
Yeah, and that right there got it out of your stash quick.
It got it out of my stash quick, and it also
that one takes up some room.
It got its own zip code and its own carrying case. So with that being said, But with that type of a model kit, is that something someone's going to go out and buy 4 or 5 versions of it? No.
Yeah.
Not me. I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't.
Hey, in the comments below, everybody, tell me who does. I bet you there's someone out there that's been hoarding them up. I have one.
Yeah,
I still have an original monogram orange one that I've had for 30 years, and I'm not even going to take on a second one. That's a big kit. That takes up some room, but I hope to build it one day.
But we were talking earlier about having squirrel moments this morning. I was sitting here, and of course Matt and Mark picked me to be the picker of the USAC group build this year, and of course, what did I pick? The 69 Camaro Revell, but it wasn't the 1/12 one, thank God.
Oh, thank you.
But I was sitting right here, and everybody is following my channel knows the direction. I'm going with a wide body kit on mine. So I'm right now, but due to the move, I'm only working on 2 builds. It's the USAC build, and I'm deciding to build this old 67 Chevelle Pro Street. So I was sitting here, and I've already got this thing. So I had a set of Pro Street tires sitting here off of the Chevelle. Oh my God, I had a squirrel moment, and I took them things up under there.
That's all it takes, right there.
I was just like,
yep.
Well, guess what I'm going to do here probably in the next year or so? I'm going to go buy another wide body kit. And of course, I've got a collection of 69 Camaro Revell kits out here that may get that, and it may get a Pro Street version, because I have seen a red, Tim's probably seen it before at some of the shows, but there is a 69 Camaro. It's red in color. It's got a big block Chevrolet with a blower sticking out of it. It's got the wide wide body kit on it. But that thing is just a beast. And I've been like, when I was sitting here and I was going, do I want to paint this thing red and do this? And I was like, no, 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 no. Come on, Fred, stay the course. Stay the course.
Yeah.
Do this next year sometime. So yeah,
The
we have
squirrels.
that. All of us as builders have had that same moment of going, oh gosh, man, that looked good. Let's do that. But
And then you got to go out and buy that kit again.
then you got to go out.
Irv has this Irvin has this on running joke that back before he had his channel, we all met him and completely forgot about him.
Blew me off.
blew him up. But I actually, on my video that I did,
to build.
yeah, we liked to build. So yeah, that was the thing is I remember meeting him, but I remember him through the build. He had the blue. Was it the 68 or 69 Chevelle? But
I had the 68.
yeah, so he had the 68 Chevelle blue, really very, regular
A2,
guy,
like
street
an A2
machine with his no cap rally wheels on it, which is one of my favorite looks. Even like in the last Chevelle I owned, I went with that look. The real cars. And that car I kept gravitating to that model throughout. This was 21 when I was at Acme. And I walked up and I was shooting my video and I'm talking about it and he comes up behind me. That's my model. Well, good for you, but whatever. Get out of here. I'm filming.
Hey, get away.
Get away. No, but we start. That's when I met Irvin and we started talking. And that particular model, there was so much inspiration. That's another thing. You go to a model show and it gives you 53,000 squirrels in your head when you leave. You get so inspired. But that model actually inspired me that I got to do that body style Chevelle with some rally wheels that have no caps on them. It's such a cool look. Really simple, lowered just perfectly. The rake that you get and everything, and sometimes the simplest model will spark something. They don't have to be so elaborate, and that's what I liked about his builds is they were so real world of what we were running around in when we were all in high school, because we're all old men, except Chris. I think you're a little younger than us, but we were there was a time when we were in high school, the parking lot looked like what car shows look like today. But yeah, so that kind of thing, you get inspired at a show, and then you walk through the swap meet, and bam, you start you buying up because you saw something and it gave you this idea. So every time you get an idea sparked, it can create up to 3 other models. Because okay, I want to build that car, but I need this kit for the chassis, I need this kit for the engine, and I need this kit for and you go out and you buy the kits if you find them for $15. Someone did that earlier.
And now you can just sit here at your leisure, in your pajamas and your house slippers and get on, and go online, and you don't even have to buy a kit. I mean, you're buying, like in my hat, my genre, I'm buying a back half, big set of Pro Street, because, that's what I bought the 67 Chevelles for, because I was using.
Yeah, you didn't.
I mean, even though
it used to be hard to get a hold of that
the
stuff.
wheels, the wheels sucked in them. I could always cut that center out and graft a set behind that. But that was an added thing. But now you got the caveat to it all is you can get online, you can. And I'm gonna plug it again. I mean, mcbproducts.net. Bring your model to life. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I gotta plug him some way. But I mean, Matthew, they've got all that available. I mean, he's just not the only. I mean, even Iceman Joel over there. I mean, another great source of products right there. I mean, they've got all kind of engines. They got the tires, the wheels, which eliminates the need for us going. Gosh, man, I don't remember what that kit had in it, but I'm gonna buy it anyhow. So it comes home with you. You open it up and you go, oh crap, that ain't what I needed. So now you've got, now you got a
Goes
kit
into the
that, you
stash.
just stick it up there. Yeah. And you add it to the stash and it's
You'll
one
find
that,
a use
I might
for it.
not
We
know.
always find
Yeah,
uses
you'll
for
find
it.
a use for
Or
it. Yeah.
it's swap meet fodder to get money to buy the next kit. It's just keeps rolling over.
Right.
So Chris,
Right.
why don't you tell a little story of how your stash just recently grew? What happened? This is another thing that makes our stashes grow.
Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes, you come across some people that are just trying to get rid of their stuff. Someone that's leaving the hobby, and they're just like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to throw it away. I want it to go to people that I know are going to enjoy it and are going to build it. And then sometimes they give you a price for things that you just can't say no to.
Mm-hmm.
And so you end up, bringing home a table full of models.
Stuff you got to
from-
go through.
Yeah.
And
well,
got to find a place
for
for it
me,
now.
Right.
The past 3 years, I have had a huge spike of kits getting added to my inventory in April, and I think Irvin might know why. What happens in April?
Tax day.
No, well, not for me, but no.
Oh, that's right. I
Hey, he's
forgot.
Canadian.
Every April is NNL East, so I go
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
spend the day going through the vendor areas, and I end up
Mhm.
coming home with a whole bunch of stuff that I just had to have.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And these nasty model companies, they always come out with these kits that are like 2-in-1, 3-in-1. You have all these
Mhm.
different building options, and it's like, oh, I like all of these building options. I want to build each of them. So now I need to get
Mhm.
2 or 3 of that one kit to have all of the building options.
Can you say marketing?
Well, yeah, they know what they're doing
sure.
for sure.
Oh, they know
That's
exactly
that's
what
not
they're
an
doing.
accident.
Right. And then, there's always stuff where you got to buy a certain kit because it has the best of part X and part Y.
Right.
And
Your
you end up with
favorite
a
part.
bunch of them. Yeah, your
Mhm.
favorite part from that kit, so you'll buy all of those kits
Yeah. I
just to
mean,
get
again,
that part.
oh God, I'm gonna have to put my hat back on. Hold on.
Well, and
Again,
how many? So with all of
these are the best. The AMT 67 Chevelle, in my opinion, has the best Pro Street tire out there. I love them, but I can go to mcbproducts.net or go to Iceman Collections, and they have even better ones. So
Yeah.
again, we're that having that squirrel moment. We're trying to
Constantly having squirrel moments.
what we're buying. Yeah.
I'm
And
spoiled. I have
another thing you
Z-Force.
can try to do is if you have a bunch of these kits that you buy just to get the certain parts out of it. If you want to challenge yourself sometimes, and try to make room for more, you take all of these kits that you've parted out. So, I mean, I don't know how easy or difficult it would be for Fred to take one of these Chevelles and put a
Damn it.
different chassis under it, like, because the Pro Street parts are gone and you just have the bare body. It's like, well,
Yeah.
what am I going to do with this? Let's see if I can find something else to put it in.
Yeah.
Or
Well, that's where the creative liberties comes into everyone.
Oh yeah.
well, and another way to approach it is like, because my attitude towards these tends to be that each model kit that you buy, each one of these is a box of parts. Whether or not it ends up being built as what's displayed on the box or not, that's entirely up to you. It's a collection of parts to use. Their configuration that they end up in may or may not match the box. It could just end up being something that you added to something else, and then you just have a whole bunch of parts extra left over to do whatever you want with.
I look at it as, and I think I know I've said this on my own channel quite a few times. Having a large collection, stash, whatever you want to call it, hoarding, it's really a model car junkyard. Because
Oh God, yeah.
I know Matt, I know Matt's been there, Irv's been there, I know Tim. If you've been into one-to-one cars like I have,
Oh yeah.
I have had plenty of mornings going to a local junkyard trying to find a part that I may have needed, but you know what? I didn't. It wasn't quite as dangerous going out to my model junkyard out here in the garage and hoarding through my stash, because I remember. I remember back in the day, and I know Matt and me and Matt might have had this conversation one time.
Probably.
My my one-to-one Pro Street car that I used to have, it was 69 RSSS Pro Street car. You wouldn't believe how many trips to the one-to-one junkyards that I went.
would believe.
And I was trying to find something for this car. I knew there was a local junkyard up here close to where I live at. And I always went to the junkyard with my tools and a pistol. Why do I carry a pistol? Because you never knew what you were going to find, and a can of wasp spray.
Oh yes.
Because you never knew what you was going to find. Well, this was a hot July. I'm roaming through there, and I opened the door of this old Camaro, and I am approached by probably the largest copperhead snake I've ever seen in my life. And he was not happy that I was invading his home.
Oh.
And I immediately just, and here comes the guy from where you pay at down there. He didn't know what I was doing. I shot more holes in that car, and that car had rust in it. But when the proverbial stick you say you'll never touch something with, I went and got that stick, and I'm bringing out this big old copperhead, and I laid it on the back of the trunk lid, and he come down there. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I just killed your guard snake here, and here's my part. Here's here's the money. I'm getting the heck out of here." So. But yeah, I mean, it's not as dangerous as, I have to go out there. The worst thing I could have is 49 of my 67 Chevelle kits falls down on me one morning and turns my cup of coffee over. So
see, now here in Arizona, it could be that dangerous. Like I have, in a shed, I have boxes of parts from, all kinds of stuff, or old builds that are now in my junkyard. Or up in my attic, and we have these things called scorpions and black widows, and sometimes they nest in that stuff. You got to be careful, especially during the hot times. Yeah. So, that can, and then you won't be building for a few months.
Man, I just had cold chills.
Yeah, those are no fun. But yeah, a copperhead. That would have been a scary moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Mr. No Shoulders that does not care. Man,
no, absolutely.
They will ruin your day.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
They will ruin your day.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, man, I enjoy having the amount of kits that I have, simply because when a squirrel pops in your head, or you just get an idea, or you want to go in and I can reach in and grab a kit. I just like having access to kits. And for some weird reason, I don't know, there's a lot of things. I forget a lot of things. Believe me, ask my daughter. I forget a lot. One thing I never forget is almost every kit here, even if it was bought, like up here, that was bought in the 80s that I'm pointing to, some of these up here. And I could tell you what I was thinking when I bought that kit, what I wanted it for. And the idea of that build might be 30, 40 years old, but I'm going to build it one day. So I can't get rid of it because I got a plan. So, it's a part of the fun. Realistically, are we going to live long enough to build all these ideas and all these kits? No. But when it has happened where I have jumped up, and these are always a lot of fun, I have jumped up and said, I've had this idea since 1987, and I'm going to do it right now. And you end up building that model that you've had that idea for decades, and that's always fun to do. I have a good time with those. So it's always good to have.
It's just the same, when Tim and I were talking about our buddy build for the 112th Camaro, that was the first thing that popped into my head was, a Pro Street 69. And I'm sitting there going, I know where I can get the parts at. I know where I can get the kit at. The kit was actually harder to get this time than it was to get the aftermarket parts for it, because when we decided on the kit, and I remember telling Tim, I was like, I ain't got the kit. I'm going to have to order it in as soon as, because I buy a lot of my stuff through Model Roundup.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, they hadn't got it in yet. Hadn't even got it in stock. And I went to a show probably right after we decided what we were going to do. And there was one of the 69 Camaro 112 scale Revell kits. It just came out, new box art. He had it on there, and the vendor was a good friend of mine. He's in Acme with us also. But I was just like, how much I want for that? He said $60. Sold. I said, hand it here. I about snatched it out of his arm. I snatched his arm off, and I've seen it as soon as I got to the show, and I blowed my budget right there at the show that morning.
Locked in.
Just like, yeah. I mean, I was like, that's it. I can't buy no more. And I had to walk around. I just walked over there, like I was like the other old guy sitting over there with his come in shopping. I blowed my budget. So,
that was over with. One
kit.
It's gone.
That's why I always have that rule. Try to make it down the first row without buying something first, and it allows you to calm down. Then you can make reasonable decisions on buying from that point on.
Oh, okay.
I think I need to take that advice next year when I go
definitely.
to NSLE.
Or just bring a whole heck of a lot of money.
Chris, we're going to challenge you to do that. You got to walk down 2 aisles and not buy anything at NNL.
Oh my goodness!
All right.
I'll see Chris there, and I'll see how many bags he has.
Make a video on it. Make a video, Irv, and just follow Chris. That'd be a great video.
I have a wagon. I don't carry bags. I have a wagon.
He's like at the grill car swap meets. He carries a wagon.
Pretty serious then.
That's y'all's NNL homework. Mine and Tim's, which we've got Acme coming up in 3 weeks. Oh my God!
Yeah, that's a heck of a swap meet. Well, I tell you, I got a little. Here's a little point of view of hoarding, stashes, whatever, that a lot of us don't see. That's from a different angle. Are the retailers and the model kit companies is this is kind of their rebuttal to these people, like what started my whole gag on my channel. The hoarding, or I'm a hoarder, wrecking the hobby thing. I got a comment years ago that a guy was very angry at me because he saw my collection, and just fueled by jealousy is what it really is. He says, it's you people like you that are wrecking the hobby because you buy up all those kits and there's none for us, the rest of us who just want to remember, which is a ridiculous statement. Now, the point of view that a lot of these people don't look at is, if it wasn't for us who buy immense collections, and then we're just the curators, because one day we're not going to build them all, and one day somebody else will get them. And I know there's tons of models in my collection that has probably had a few owners of that kit who have passed on. It perpetuates the hobby in that regard. But when the kits come out, the manufacturers and the retailers all really appreciate the people that buy kits more than that they build, because that's what's kept the hobby fueled. If everybody bought a kit, and this came, Andy said this to me when that first happened, and it was like, oh wow, that's quite the epiphany. And then I also heard it from actual kit manufacturers, is if the average hobbyist only bought a kit, took it home and built it, and didn't buy another kit till that was finished and built and bought another one, they would have gone out of business years ago. That we would not have hobby shops, we would not have companies making these kits, and we would not have these kits go back into circulation for us to buy at swap meets. So there is no way, any way whatsoever, that us who buy a lot of kits and hoard them are wrecking the hobby. We're perpetuating the hobby.
We're
keeping it for
enhancing the
one.
hobby. I feel.
Absolutely.
I mean,
there would be no kit manufacturing if it wasn't for the purchasing that happens. And that's something to think about.
Yeah, because I sit back. I mean, I'll see people that, they'll pull a vintage kit out that, that they've been hoarding it, collecting it, whatever you want to call it. And then they pull it out and they go and they show it. And I'm like, wow, man, I remember that kit. I remember that kit when I was a kid. I wished I had that kit. And then guess what? Even what we're doing, even like what we are doing right now, a lot of the kit manufacturers, they do listen. They do watch our content. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I know that for a fact because
yes, they do.
Model, what's the AMT? Second version.
Round 2.
Round 2. Thank you.
Round 2 models.
Round 2. I have a friend of mine. I have a good friend of mine in the model community. He cannot stand the crew chief blazer kit. And
no,
he cannot stand it. So as a poke to him, we did an appreciation bill for him one time, and as soon as it was announced that we were doing an appreciation bill for him, I was like, I'm going to build the crew chief kit in your honor. And I pulled it out. Did I build it like the box art? No way. Pappy is not going to build anything box art or box stock or what have you. So I I did a kit bash on it. I took the kit to Acme. I won top 10 with that blazer that year. And what I did was as a poke and fun to him, and he, on his channel that he has, he poked fun at AMT about how terrible the flash was on that kit. It was just, it's junk, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And he, round 2, watched his video. And because he bashed that kit, give it a bad rating on his channel, round 2 sent him a free kit to his residence for him to reevaluate and get a better view of it. And this was after I forgot what box art it was. So let's move forward. Once he got the kit, he thought that I was the one that sent it to him as a gag gift.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I can see that.
And he was just like, I don't know which one of you SOBs sent me this kit, but I'm not building it because it's a POS and da-da-da-da-da-da. I kept going, bro, I did not send you that kit. And it turns out what happened a couple of weeks later, I don't know whose channel they were watching, must have heard the banter that we were going back and forth with it. And he got an email from, and that's how he found out who sent it to him. He got an email from round 2 and wanted to know if he appreciated them sending him a new blazer kit to reevaluate your thought on this. But don't think that the model companies are not watching our content that we create on YouTube to kind of get a grasp and a feel of what we like and what we're talking good about or giving bad reviews on, stuff like that. So be careful. Big Brother's listening.
Yeah. And they've said before on their channel, on the Round 2 channel, what fuels them with their decisions on the kits that they reproduce that for some reason people get angry of, that's another subject. Always bends my mind, the ridicule they get because they repop a kit. But they do so many of the kits that they do because they say it on their channel. They keep an eye on the secondary market, and when they see a kit that they still have an old mold for, and they see people are asking $200-$300 for an old version of it, they're like, no, that's not. Oh, there we go. That's not going to happen. They actually want to squash that secondary market because it's people want to build that kit, and it's really tough to build a kit when someone's, well, I have it, but if you want it, you're going to pay me $200-$300 for it. That's just they want to put an end to that, and
I
that's
was just sitting here.
that's been great.
I was just sitting here looking, see if AMT, and it does say it on this particular one, AMT round 2. So
Yeah.
round 2, if you're watching, listening,
67.
save your moles. I may want one, but I will sell you some of these back at $200 and $300 a pop. But if I swear, if I get a case of these at my residence right here that I got to go put in our storage building, oh my God!
Oh jeez. Hey, I need more. Send me a case. I'll take them. I'll use them up. And you know they do. They keep. You know, that's a popular kit. It sells. It keeps coming back. You can kind of count on that. But there are some kits that they'll bring back, or the other model companies bring back, and you just don't know if we're ever going to see it again. So you got to.
And that's another one. That's another one. Irv hit on this one, and I know that we've been, you know, I've had for the last hour I've been having to wear this particular hat. But Irv hit on one a while ago, and Revell did release a Pro Street 67 Chevelle. I've had one in my stash, and guess what? Revell hasn't done another one ever since. I would love to have that. Revell, if you're listening, repop the 67 Chevelle that y'all did. Make my go ahead. Make my day.
Oh man. You know, that's kind of a side subject real quick. Let's talk about. That was kind of, I remember when this happened, and it was either 89 when it was announced. It was 90 when the two kits came out. Both of those companies, and if you go back on my channel and watch my podcast back when I called it the Unpodcast, and I had Terry Jesse on, he tells a story that he had the guy from Revell and the guy from AMT in his back seat, and they kind of got into a back and forth about this. And it was freshly after the 67 Chevelles came out. And it was total fluke. Wow. No one knew who the other one was doing. And they both came out with the idea of doing the 67 Chevelle, both street and pro street. It was really weird. And there was always that thing, which one was better? And I don't think they're two totally different kits. And the
I was supposed to say, and I know Chris can piggyback off on this because, of course, Chris is a Canadian resident, and we're over here, we're down below him in the lower 50.
See how he says
but
that.
Chris, correct me if I'm wrong. The version that Revell made was a Canadian version of the Chevelle, and the one that AMT has is the American car that was made for, you know, for sales here in the States. Is that correct?
No, no one. Well, the only company that's ever made any kits of any vehicles that were Canadian market only is when Mobius did the Mercury truck. Recently. But other than that. But the Revell version is different in that it has
the rear tail lights.
Yeah, it has the Corvette tail panel in it.
Right,
and I think a couple of other things.
Right.
But it's got 2 4s.
Yeah, like the personally the 67 Chevelle is my favorite Chevelle, and I have a couple of the Revell versions of both the street car and the Pro Street. The only time I ever got the AMT, and I only got the street version to do some of those conversions from Canuck 3D. I will, mea culpa, I don't even own a Revell, an AMT 67 Chevelle. I don't have one at all. So I don't know,
careful what you say.
It's like all the parts on that are the same as with the street car, right? Like it doesn't have the same kind of different tail panel like the
AMT
the
version.
Revell version does.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the Revell kind of
went with Revell one.
The Revell one with the Pro Street, they went with kind of a customizing, which was something I didn't like about that kit. There's a couple of customizing things, so I bought a street version of the Revell so I can make a Pro Street that was I like my whenever I do a Pro Street, I like the body and everything to stay factory. I don't like customizing and stuff. And
I'm sure they did that by choice. Too.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah,
So
it definitely got me to buy.
both.
It got me to buy that. But when the two companies came out with two versions of the same car, I know there was this thing, and to me, my opinion is the Revell, and I bought a bunch of both when they came out. I have that green Max Rat. I got a ton of them. The chat, especially the Pro Street chassis portion, I think was more superior looking, and
it was more
and
accurate.
that kit, the kit was a little more crisp detail, a little more accurate detail than the AMT. But I ended up gravitating the AMT more because of its simplicity and made for better kit bashing, it turned out. So I ended up kind of leaning towards the AMT more because of it being a little more simpler, and I got the same effect. It just worked better for me with a lot more of the other bodies I like to use. Like right now I've got one going that I got the more recent 68 GTO from round 2 models when they came out with their Craftsman series of that GTO, and I've been wanting to do a super stock of a GTO forever, a 68, and the AMT chassis fit under that body perfectly without barely any modifications. I didn't try it with the Revell, but it always seemed like the Revell needed more massaging. It was a more complex kit. So
the center to center on the fender wells on the AMT versus the Revell was a little off.
Yeah,
but the AMT was always wide enough. The center to center was great. With the Revell kit, it had a true Pro Street suspension.
Yeah,
it had it had the 4-link bars. It had the narrowed rear axle. But with the AMT, there's a lot of imagination right there. As I got the hat, as I'm wearing my hat, it's starting to shrink on my head because I'm talking about it. I mean, the
strangling your
suspension
skull
on it. I know it's probably my head getting bigger, swelling. But the AMT version, as far as the suspension, I mean, I can build it with my eyes closed, and I can do so much with it. Is it an accurate Pro Street version? No. Why? Because I know what a 4-link and panhard bar and all that is, because I've used them before in 1-to-1. But this this version that this one right here on the top of my head's got, I've never seen a suspension like that. It's like a trailing arm on a set of coilovers.
It's kind of a modified stock rear suspension.
It's a modified,
where they just moved.
Right.
And which was actually kind of an old school when tubbing cars started happening big in the 70s. I actually knew someone who built in their garage a 65 Chevelle, and he literally just moved all the stock suspension inward, and he did all the modifications. That was before there were any, Chris Olliston making kits, for the real cars and all the other hot rod shops. And he narrowed, he cut the frame and brought the stock frame rails in. He narrowed the rear end. He used the stock 12-bolt rear end, and he used all the stock trailing arms and everything. So, I mean, that did happen. It just was a very short time in the early days of pro streeting that they did that. All of a sudden, all the fabrication.
That's what I was going to do on my.
God, look at that right over here.
See, it just eat me up. I got to take that thing off. I was going to do that on my 1-to-1. I was going to just narrow the frame rails, use the leaf spring, narrow the rear end. And a good friend of mine come over there, and he was like, "Are you crazy?" And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, a little bit, but why would you do that?" And the next thing, oh God, yeah. He said, "Are you going to daily drive this?" No, I'm not going to daily drive it. I'm just going to drive it to the shows and stuff like that. But he said, "You'll have a much better handling. You'll be much more comfortable if you do a 4-link." And he was one of the first ones in this area that was like that knew how. He owned a machine shop. He knew, he did a lot of race cars, and that's when 4-links were being more, put into.
Yeah, that's what it takes
cars.
as a race car builder.
It was, and he helped me. Oh God, we were, I remember carrying the car over to his garage, and a month later, I was rolling it out with a tubbed out 4-link suspension, and
Wow.
had a narrow Dana 60 up under it, and I
Oh,
was just like,
that's
he
my
said,
favorite
now you
rear
could,
end.
and had Bilstein shocks up under it, set of coilovers, and I was just like, man, I'm glad I did this. How much do I owe you? He said, and he didn't charge me, what he
Oh my
should have,
goodness.
but
Yeah,
yeah. Well,
that's
I
amazing.
helped him. I did help him. I mean,
That's cool.
you know, I, I'm jack of all trades and a master of none. But that was I helped him as much as I helped him,
Yeah.
and it was
I,
it was just
yeah.
it's just like in the hobby. We all try to help one another.
Oh,
Whether
it's
we need
always like
parts,
that.
we need tips or something like
Help
that.
each
And
other grow each
you know,
other's stash. Thank you.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yep,
Send
yep,
it.
yep, yep.
I'll send you this. You send me that type thing.
That's right.
Hey Tim.
That's
So
right.
That rebels.
I see an. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Irv.
No, no, go ahead. Tim hasn't talked lately. Let Tim talk.
Yeah, Tim, talk. No, Tim, I notice in your stash behind you, and I know that you and I talk a lot on the phone. We've been gabbing for about 4 years now, gotten to know each
a
other
bunch of
pretty
women.
well. You really love semi truck trailers, and this also, or not trailer, but the toters, the semi trucks, and it looks like you've got a pretty cool stash of them behind you. As Chris being a trucker, the two of you guys are kind of like in our little group, the model truck builders and stuff like that. And do you have a particular favorite truck that you kind of have a heavy stash on? When you see them, you buy them up, or you just get what you want when you want it?
I just get what I want. I love that new international that AMT just came out with. All new tooling and redesign. I
Yeah.
love that cab over kit. Very nice kit. Highly recommend that for someone wanting to build a semi truck that goes together easy.
Yeah, because and you can see them in the background. Your buildups, you've built quite a few of them. It looks like you do a lot of cab overs, and I know we've talked about this. I'm a huge cab over fan. I love the old cab
Oh
overs.
God, yeah.
Yeah,
When was the last time y'all actually seen a cab over going down the road?
don't see them no more. Not here in the
I
States.
don't either. Nope.
They're like huge over in Europe. That is like the preferred type of. And there's some great YouTube videos that talks about why it's like that. But here, everything's conventional here in North America, right? Right there, Chris. You would know about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's length restrictions basically. Trust me, a lot of the places that I deliver to, I would prefer to have a cab over truck because, well, a lot of the infrastructure in the Northeast, especially, it was designed for cab overs with like a 48-foot trailer. So now I've got a conventional and a 53-foot trailer trying to get into some of these spots. But the regulations used to be the same between North America and Europe, where the overall length was such a deciding factor of the size of the vehicles. But the length restrictions kind of got abolished in North America, and then the biggest difference with the technology available at the time, the conventional trucks were far more comfortable for the drivers for long-term usage and stuff. Now it would probably be like the comfort and the ride is going to be the same. You don't necessarily need the long wheelbase, but then the big thing now is that there's so many of them. It's the style that's preferred amongst owner-operators or certain fleets or whatever. Like, I can only say for my employer that they could care less what the drivers like for style. They're going to get the most cost-effective vehicle for them to be able to get. And if, somebody was to bring back some cab overs and offer them, and it was cheaper than everything else, I'm sure they would get it. But,
Oh yeah,
Because most of your over the road companies, haulers nowadays, they look at number one, the fuel efficiency.
Yep.
They don't care about. I mean, they care about the comfort of their drivers, but you don't see a lot of the over the road drivers utilizing their sleepers anymore. A lot of time, what I see is that they're making them pull over. If they're in their sleepers, they are, but they're a lot of the rest areas they really frown on a lot of overnight
Yeah.
stays. And they're making their drivers pull over, get that full 8 hours of rest that they probably need, either at a hotel or something like that. So they really don't, unless you're a owner operator and and you want the great big wide sleeper, double sleeper with the fireplace in the back. And,
I want a fireplace.
I know Tim, and I enjoy when Tim goes to the show each year.
The mats.
Yeah, and just when I see some of those that he shows, I'm just like, man, those are beautiful. I mean, they're just, and they look like houses on wheels. I mean, they're just like, I'm just like, wow, man, to be a trucker.
Yeah, well,
Tim, have you built one with a fireplace in yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, come on.
You better get cracking to that. So Chris,
Yeah.
as I asked Tim, do you have a particular tractor trailer rig kit that is your favorite? You might have the most of.
Well, I tend to gravitate towards the Italy kits. I find that they I like, as much as it may be strange for some people, the intricate assembly for those is one of the reasons why I like it, because like for the chassis, it's like every single piece is separate. Like the cross members to go from to join the two frame rails, there's like four or five pieces for each one of them, so you gotta put it all together, and it's very intricate. But when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to the Italy kit, they pretty much have two chassis for North American trucks, and it's only accurate for two of the kits that they put it under, where they use the same chassis for different kinds of truck manufacturers, and they weren't necessarily the same. Like, that's not accurate.
They cheated.
For example, yeah, like they designed a chassis that would depict a Freightliner chassis, and they use it under everything. So whether it's a Freightliner or a Western Star or a Mack, it's the same chassis, and it's not accurate for a Mack or for a Western Star of that period.
Yeah.
But then I also have like most of their European trucks as well. I like them, and they have a lot newer trucks, like this one here, the Italy Volvo. It's the newest truck that they make, but that's 2 generations behind of what's actually on the road now.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Yeah, but this Scania over here, it's what is currently on the road, and actually, no, you can't see it; it's buried in behind. But I actually have like the newest. They made a kit of the newest Volvo and Scanias that are available. But what I like to do with them is I have a plan, because everything you buy is you have a plan.
You have a plan.
And an intention of how you want to build it. Each one of these European-style trucks, I want to build them eventually as if they were a North American truck. So,
interesting. That's a cool take.
They're all going to end up... Well, because they all come with... usually it's just a single rear axle. So I got to convert them all. I got to lengthen the chassis, add another axle to it. And I'm really hoping that there's 3D printed parts that are going to be available, because if I have to buy 2 of those to build one, it's going to be very expensive, very quickly.
They're high.
As I'm sure Tim knows, the Italy truck kits are not on the cheaper scale.
No, especially nowadays, and it's getting harder to get a hold of them coming from Europe. I know. One of my favorite all-time toters, tractor trailer rig. I am a huge fan of the old Ford C600 cab. That is my absolute favorite. Wow. And I have one project that I've on and off been working for a long time. Is I remember the old stake bed version, and for a while when I think at the point it was like in the early days of round 2 taking over AMT and MPC and all that, they put the stake bed out, and it had been a long time since there was a C cab kit, the C600 out. And I grabbed that immediately. And what was great about that kit with the plan that I had is I wanted to combine that with the back portion of that haul. Like, Tim, you just recently bought the Richard Petty combo kit that has the Ford hauler and the dart, the Sportsman dart. That old kit, I had one of those, and I wanted to take the back half, just the ramp truck part of it, and I wanted to put that onto the frame of that stake bed for the C600, but it needed to be stretched out. Luckily, that particular kit had the option to build the single axle toter or the longer wheelbase. So I had an extra short frame, so I could cut the C channels part and then add what I needed to make it even longer. And that's been a kind of a fun project I want to get back on. And that kit, and now I want to get a few more, because now I also want to do I love the short wheelbase toter version of that. But I mean, that was a truck when I was a little kid. They were, very prevalent on the roads back in the 70s, and I just always was fascinated with that truck. So I was so happy when Round 2 bought that back, and they've put out a lot of versions since then. So if there was one that was my favorite, which creates adding it to the stash, man, I see a cool one.
That's kind of, we're talking about, over the road trucks now, which of course, Chris is an over the road trucker. Where I would gravitate toward, and now that, I just had a squirrel moment. Yeah, I just had a squirrel moment. And I see a lot of, we go to shows, we see a lot of the, the big trucks on the tables and stuff. There is a local builder. I know Irv is familiar with Alex Melichuk. You know him, Irv?
Is that the guy that built that really modern yellow truck?
Yes, he is just, yes.
His stuff is unbelievable.
Is immaculate. I love seeing what he brings to the table. He did a version of the Smokey and the Bandit truck, and I was just like, I was mesmerized. I was just like, wow, dude, this is just awesome. But everybody has done, they've done the Bandit Trans Am. They've done they've done Jerry Reed's truck. They've done that to death. But the one thing that comes to my mind, and if I had that squirrel moment a minute ago, was back in the early 70s, there was a TV show called Moving On.
Oh, yeah. I love that show. I remember that show.
AMT came out with the Sonny Pruitt Kenworth, and that was the first time I was introduced to Kenworth. I was like, what the heck is a Kenworth? Well, it turned out it was a real nice conventional cab, conventional cab, had the sleeper on the back, and I just knew it through the TV show Moving On. It was one of those I think it come on Thursday nights, and boy, I was just like, oh yeah, let's go see what Will and Sonny's doing tonight. And and that beautiful green, had that green Kenworth, and had S. Pruitt on the door. And I mean, is that one that I would gravitate toward at a show and probably buy for my stash, along with a big 48 or 53. What were they back then, Chris? 48 footers?
48 and then 40 before 40s. That. But
I would gravitate to
48. But
I would get a box trailer for that to sit at a show and do, just like the movie, paint it green just like it would. Maybe look at something, the trailer that they were pulling probably would have been a Fruhoff, trailer back then.
And do
that.
Is that kit still, like that Kenworth? Is that still, as far as tooling, still been in production? Is it still available? Could they?
I haven't seen it lately.
Huh?
No.
Well, it's the particular Moving On kit. I mean, is that tooling still available? I wonder.
I don't know.
Because if it is,
they recently reissued the 25th scale version of it. Yeah.
Was that the red and white box art one? and not the
No, it's
Sunnybrook?
it's got a blue truck on the box, but the basic chassis and cab is the same as like the Tyrone Malone, like the Papa
Oh,
truck.
yeah.
Oh,
the
yeah.
truck.
Yeah.
They're all the same basic kit.
Yeah.
See, now,
All they
that moving on truck I've seen on the Facebooks over the past few years pop up a lot because we're basically the average age of model car builders. We're all like in our 50s, 60s. We were kids in the 70s. We watched that show. And so the nostalgia of it has been popping up a lot. And I have been very surprised that round two, maybe they're planning it. I don't know. Licensing could be a part of it. I'm surprised that they haven't repopped that kit in that old box art. I bet you it would sell like crazy. I would love that. I have wanted that kit because I never got it as a kid, but I remember my buddy across the street had one. And I remember when he got it for his birthday and I came over and he was really into big rig trucks. That's what he wanted to grow up to be one day. And we got that kit all apart and we're looking at the decals and we're just trying to fit things together. And he's like, what the heck do I do with this? You know, we're on the toy, way of thinking. I wasn't a model builder back when I was a kid. I didn't build a lot of models. So models kind of almost frustrated me in the early days because I wanted a car and play with it. So that created other problems. But I loved cars.
Something to blow up.
Yeah, or that. But but I remember us going through that kit going, what the heck do we do with this thing? And then we quickly got bored with it. But it was so exciting. So as now that I'm a model builder through the years and that subject has popped up about that kit and I go, oh yeah, and I'm like, man, I would love to build that because I love that TV show so much and that green. I like the color and that would be such a neat one. And then
emerald green.
If they were to repop that kit, there's another one for the stash. Back to the original subject.
Squirrel.
Yeah. Yeah, big rigs. Gee whiz.
Yeah.
So let's go around the table here real quick. Losing control here, and I'm hitting things. Okay. All of you, we'll start with Chris, and we'll go around here. I want to hear, is there a hole in your stash for that one kit that's, I guess, your holy grail that you want to insert into the stash? Chris, start.
There is, and it's the kit that it would be. It's probably a weird one. A lot of people wouldn't understand why I would want it. To be truthful, I don't even know why I want this particular kit. Probably just because I find that to me it's really neat, and because it's I guess it kind of harkens back to the old Mopar song where the Mopars are so rare and so valuable because when they were new nobody wanted them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So the kit that I really want, that I guess would be my current grail kit, I guess you could call it, is Revell issued a set kit, and it was the Nissan or the Datsun pickup truck with a camper shell towing a trailer with wet bikes. And whenever I see one of those pop up for sale, they go so much money.
I know. Everybody
seems to want them, and obviously they weren't very popular when they were new because there aren't that many of them kicking around, right?
Yeah.
But
they probably lived
I don't know if that's
like I sent a mini of mine off and blowing it up or shooting it with a BB gun.
Well, I don't know if that would ever be seen again, if those parts are still available, because I mean the wet bikes haven't been seen forever.
Or if the
trailer is still around. As for that Batson pickup, I don't know if they still have it or what, but I don't know why I want it so bad, but I do.
Yeah, I hear you. Fred, what's that one that you got a hole in your stash for?
I guess now it's for the, honestly, guys, I've been fortunate enough, and that there's been some of my YouTube content creators subscribers to my channel that has fulfilled a lot of my Holy Grail kits. They've either made it available to me to buy or to, and I've had a few people actually just send me this kit, this one kit. I'm not going to mention who sent it to me, but the one, and the conversation that we've been rocking on now for a while here, was talking about the moving on kit. That would be one of them. If I could find that kit, with a Fruhoff trailer, that would be, could fill that void. As far as past, kits, Grail, and I say Grail kits that has been either gifted to me or I have purchased over the last couple of years. I was gracious enough to receive really one of my Grail kits, and it was the MPC 63 split window gasser Corvette.
The big scale one, that rod shop one?
The big scale one?
It's the 1/16 scale. It's got the gasser front end. It's got it's red, white, and blue. I was at Acme a couple of years ago, and unbeknownst, it was presented to me, and I was just like,
"That's cool."
Wow. I mean, I was honored. It's in my stash right now, secure and safe at a undisclosed location, Irv. So don't even try to get the GPS
I know he's
coordinates.
Who'd we lose? Oh man,
Chris.
Chris. But yeah, don't try to find those coordinates. So
from what I understand, booby trapped. Well, I have heard some rumblings and rumors that Irv has been putting together a mercenary team, and they've got maps, they've got GPS. Something's going on. I'm going to stay out. I might get myself.
We got
in
a
trouble.
grid. We got a grid
going on. Well, let's ask you, Irvin. So, do you have a hole in your stash that you want to fill with a particular kit?
Well, I think there's always a hole in anybody's stash if there's a Grail kit involved. I think
that's true.
You can have
that's very
your whole
true.
room filled, and if you got 1 square inch in there, you can cram something in it. So I'd say yes. There's always room for that. And this is going to sound bizarre and morbid, but I would like to get the stock Hearst version. As a kid, we used to buy them because they were always on the shelf, and we'd hot rod them. I had one with a teardrop hood on it, and we painted them loud colors. And for some reason, I just want that kit. I have a lot of the ambulances, and I have 2 of the Holland hearses, the original yellow Holland hearses. I wouldn't mind getting a Rambler, the ambulance style hot rod that they had of that. But I really want a stock one, and I just haven't. You don't see them that often.
No.
I mean, I'm willing to pay some money for it, but I have a limit, and the ones I've seen on eBay have just been too crazy. But if I would run across one, it's got to be complete. It's got to have the casket in it. I don't know why. It's just something I had as a kid. It's like I had it as a kid, and most of those you find the casket's gone in them. So, and I know it sounds bizarre, but I have built one, and it's just something about from my childhood that, and again, that we probably burned them up too. We probably blew them up and burned them up.
Oh yeah,
but that's the kit that I'd really like to find, especially in the flat box. I'd like to have that little flat box that they had.
Oh yeah.
The old Johann.
So that's the one that I would.
That's a long
I'm
time
looking,
ago.
but I'm not looking hard. But I mean, if I'd ever run across one, and it was not crazy, I'd like to find one at the show, because I think the show prices are more reasonable.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to pay for the shipping. I mean, the shipping,
that's very true.
Shipping today just kills you on any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Again, find the person at the end of the show and go, you want to make some money? Do you want to load that back? $5.
Sometimes they go for it. Tim, your turn.
Yeah, the shipping is.
Oh. Tim.
For some reason, I've been hot on an Oldsmobile lately. The Johann 61 and 62 Oldsmobiles.
Oh,
Wow. I
Cool
think
car.
all of our mouths just went.
Oh, yeah.
I had one and gave it away about 25 years ago. Gave it away.
Gave
I mean,
it
they're
away.
out
Gave
there.
it away.
I'll bring it back.
Yeah. hmm
Times.
They're out there, but the question is, are you willing to pay the price for it?
It all depends on what mood I'm in, and it depends on the box also. I'm huge on the box has to be in great condition.
Yep.
Yeah.
A kind of an ongoing joke with my hobby shop. He saved a model kit for me that I ordered in. He goes, I got your model, Tim. Here it is. I went to go pick it up, and the box was damaged. I said, I don't want that. He kind of looked at me like, what? I said, man, the box is damaged. So he knows now it has to be pristine, even my magazines.
Yeah.
It all depends on really the box. And I'm going to build it, and I kind of want to keep the box because it goes back to that box art. I love that box art.
Yeah, that's
love
reasonable. Yeah, box art to me is, I'm kind of the same way about that kind of stuff too. Is box art is such an important part of the hobby to me. Oh, look what he's got here. Yeah, that's the one that I gave away.
Yep,
Yep, that's her.
it.
Yeah.
That's two.
Did you know that they did a station wagon version of that too?
Yes,
I-
which is what, 61, I think.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah.
I don't have the box,
Yeah.
but I have it. Black. I've never seen that kit in black.
We'll work out.
before.
Are you going to Atlanta?
Yeah, I'll be there.
I'll bring it. We'll work out a deal.
Okay.
Oh wow! Look at this! Wow!
you
Look what we
go.
got here. That's awesome.
Yeah, but
I got a
bada
spot.
boom.
I got a spot. I got a spot. I can put something else in.
Yeah. See, look at that. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how it works, man.
Guess what, Irv?
You
I'm
want a
gonna fill
67 Chevelle?
I've
I
got one
had it
more.
for years, so
Yeah.
I'm in it really cheap, so I can work out a good deal for you.
Matt, what about you? You got one?
I do have one, and it's kind of an odd one, and I'm already wrecking my stuff here. Jeez.
Yeah.
So I have a particular vehicle that actually is very near and dear to my heart, and I vaguely remember it back when it was on the shelves. And again, this is one that nobody gave a hoot about. It was a Revell kit, and they, Revell just stopped making. They did different versions of it, but they stopped this particular one. It is an 82 or 83 Datsun four-wheel drive what Datsun called the King Cab. One of my early cars, a vehicle out of all the vehicles I've had, oddly enough, this is one that I actually still have reoccurring dreams that somehow I get it back. I bought in '86 an '84 Nissan four-wheel drive King Cab, and I loved that truck, and I lifted it. I loved it, and I always wanted to build a model of it. And so the year before, that was the first year that here in Northern America that Datsun did the change of the name back. There's a whole thing. Started changing things to Nissan, and so the 82 or 83 was Datsun, and there were some minor differences, but the basic body, everything about it, was very, very close to what the 84. The 84 was kind of an update. So there never was a kit of the 84. So I always wanted to get that 82 or 83 Datsun extended cab, and I think it's black on the box. The build is black, and it's the only time they ever did it. Later on, they came out with a snap kit, which I have, a snap kit of a single cab. They kind of tried to make it look like the trophy truck, but it was just a stock snap kit. And they also did a extended cab that was a slam, when the custom little trucks were popular in the 80s. That yellow one that was slammed way down. I picked up that kit, and I'm trying to put those two together and create my truck with that. That's another one that I bought those kits back when those kits were out in the 80s. Late 80s, and I started that project, and that was one that was at the time way above my abilities. So one day I want to get back on it. But if I could find because that's again that when you do find that Nissan or that Datsun King Cab four-wheel drive, it's always going for really big money because it was very low
Yeah,
production.
with or without the wet bike.
Yeah. And so that one is one that I really want. That's why I was like excited when you said what you wanted, Chris. I would love to get my hands on that kit so I could build kind of sort of my 84 Nissan. So that's one that I'm really on the hunt for a while. If it ever comes about and the price is right, it's like I'm not gonna. I don't know. It depends on if I ever come into big money. Money doesn't matter. I probably would drop it, but money matters. So
nowadays it does.
And I mean, I can still do it. I got a couple of kits that I can make work to create that truck. But if I could find that truck, that would be, and I would build it. It would not be buying it to collect. And I like the box art. The box art, I'm like Tim. I want the box art to be in good shape so that I can put it up. If I do build it, I can tack it to the wall and it looks really cool up on the wall. Because that square 80s Nissan four-wheel drives are so special to me. I owned that truck for 5 years and went everywhere in it. And I sold it to buy a 69 GMC that I talked about earlier that I ended up breaking an axle and rolling in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So it's like, man, would that have happened if I would have kept the Nissan?
Mm-hmm. You probably wouldn't have been able to tow the Chevelle with the Nissan, though.
You would be surprised because I used to tell I was building a 66 Chevelle stock car for the local dirt tracks, and I went and picked up this 66 Chevelle. I was on a race team that I borrowed our trailer for our late model race car, and I towed it with that Nissan. And surprising, that Nissan could handle towing cars. I don't know if you would want to go cross country with it, but the way I loaded up, well, that was the big problem is I overmaxed that GMC and snapped that axle. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
That's all it takes sometimes.
Sometimes, man. So note to self, don't do that.
No.
Because Vicksburg, Mississippi is a heck of a place to roll over and have to hang out for a while.
Yeah. Well, I've been there before.
But so that's that. Anybody got anything else they want to add, or have we beat this subject to death?
I think we have beat this mule to death.
The mule has been beaten.
Yeah.
I think we have. What a great second episode, guys! Thank you all for coming on.
Yes.
We're gonna slap it down.
Irv's fixing to give us the clap again.
Yeah. So we had two new faces on. We're gonna, everybody will be doing reoccurring roles on this thing. Like I said, we'll have more. We might have few, but we got a great response from our first premiere episode. It got wonderful views. A lot of people are interested, and I'm probably going to start doing 2 recordings a month. Again, we have a roster of guys rotating, whatever. So whenever people have the time to get on here, everybody's welcome to jump on. So with that being said, it's kind of helps us be more flexible with this podcast, and we're going to have other guest hosts on. But this seems to be a really fun platform. We're all enjoying it, and we'll have probably the usual suspects every recording. So we're going to kind of stick
not Kaiser Sose, please.
What's that?
Just not Kaiser Sose.
No. Yeah, so we're going to try to knock down 2 a month if we can, but we're pretty kickback about doing this. This is a fun podcast. Again, we're on the Luka channel here. You're watching it either on YouTube or over on, as of right now, as far as Real Podcast World, Spotify. I have it up on Spotify to listen to, and you can watch it on Spotify too if you have that capability. And maybe eventually we'll grow into having it on other locations, which would be really neat. But this is definitely I think this is a keeper. We're having fun with this. This is a great discussion thing. What?
Oh, it's a keeper.
It's a keeper. I know what movie that's from. But so everybody.
And also, if there's something, all of our viewing public, listening public, if you've got questions,
Yeah.
or if you got a topic you would like for us to kind of hit on. I mean, we're up for that as well. Drop us some info on future content that we're going to be doing here pretty soon.
I've got a list. I'm writing them down on a list.
Oh
everybody.
gosh, yeah. Send us some topics y'all would like for us to hit on. Also, we're going to, in each of one of our podcasts, if you've got an upcoming show, which I'm going to shamelessly plug our show coming up here in 18 days, to the Acme Southern Nationals in Cartersville, Georgia, October the 25th, I believe. That's pretty bad. I don't know what day it is, but it's on that Saturday. But the Acme Southern Nationals over in Cartersville, you can get on and do your registration as we speak right now. It is open. You can $30 get you into the early bird, and $12 gets you into the general admission. Unlimited models. We had a great turnout last year at our show, and we're looking for another. This is going to be our third year at this location. It keeps getting bigger and bigger, and we're looking forward. I know Tim and I and Irv is going to be there. We're going to miss. We missed having Mr. Hobbydoo 007 in this on this episode, but he'll be there as well.
He'll be there.
Yep, Mark will be there with us, and Tim and I is going to be debuting our great big 1/12 scale Camaros that we've been working so diligently on over the last summer. At least Tim didn't call me up while I was on vacation and go, "Are you even finished?" I haven't even started yet, but we're going to be debuting that as well. So, but if you've got a model show or something you want us to talk about or possibly go, I know Tim loves going to model shows, and we all do.
Tim, don't you? You like going to model shows, don't you?
No, he hates it. But we all do. We have a great time when we all get together. Yeah, he hates going to drag strip. He hates being bothered at drag strips when we're trying to cut it, when we're trying to do our shows.
Yeah.
If y'all got a model show that you want to plug here on the podcast, let us know. If you got a show that you want us to try to attend, let us know. We'll send our roving correspondent, Mr. Throttle Power himself to it to get some response on it. And But yeah, this is great. This is a great platform. I'm really excited to be in a part of this and doing this for you guys.
It's a lot of fun. So, start off with you, Chris. Throw out your goodbyes and plug what you want to plug, and we'll go around the table again.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. You can come check me out over at the Sprue on YouTube. So I also have a website where I delve into the history of some of our favorite kits. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, and we'll see you around next time.
Who's up next? I guess I am.
We're going around.
Matt's up here tickling me. He's up here tickling me on the hindquarters there. Like, Pappy, wake up.
Different show.
Different subject.
Yeah, oh God, this is old Fred Pappy Henry, West Georgia Rods and Custom. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram as well as on Facebook. And usually on Saturday nights, you can find me over there at Got Fuels Model Car Garage live hangout. We have a great time. We talk about modeling, life in general, sometimes a little too deep. But it's all in great fun. So on to Irv.
Irvin Arter. I do have a Facebook account under my name, but you can find me on the Arterake on YouTube, and that's about it. I don't have all these other things yet. I don't know how to do all this newer technology.
Because he's old and you don't know.
You can always write to me and put a stamp on it, put it through the regular mail.
No way.
I know where there's some equipment down below you that somebody's got. Ooh, he ain't using it all yet.
Tim Brown. I'm on YouTube, Throttle Power, where it's all about the throttle. If you want to see some cool contest coverage and car show footage, that's what I do.
That's what he does. Yeah, fun channel.
And this guy, right?
And this is me, Luka C, aka Matt. And of course, the Luka C channel. You're watching it right now if you're watching this on the YouTubes. And I do have my resin casting company, the Luka C Products. Go over there on Facebook and find our page, the Luka C. I got to get this right. Jeez, I can't even plug myself. My goodness. Luka C Products. And we have, hopefully, as our recording, this is Sunday, but by the time this is out, Monday, hopefully Monday, if everything's all straightened out with the banking, the website will be launching. Thank you, Irv. Straighten me out, bud. The website's going to be launching. It's over on Shopify. It's, again, Luka C Products. We'll be putting everything out on that over on my Facebook group, Luka C Model Car Hobby Headquarters Facebook group, which all these guys get on there and talk about their garbage and stuff. So if you want to find any of us, go there. There's tons of modelers there. So thank you all for watching. This has been a lot of fun. Second one down for the got a new hat, beautiful hat. For those
we're going to plug
shamelessly
the Unified Scale Auto Content Creators of YouTube's group, Bill. Where
absolutely,
this year I chose this one right here. If y'all haven't joined it yet, still got plenty of time between now and September the 15th and March the 15th. You get that kit, get it out there, tell us what you're doing. Anybody can join it. The only rule is that you have to use this kit. Have to have fun.
Yeah, and that is for those who are just listening. That is what he's got on. What Fred has on top of his head is the Revell 69 Camaro. Any variation of the Revell 69 Camaro 25th scale is the kit we're all building, and there's going to be tons of all different versions of that thing going on.
Yep.
So
check it out. March the 15th. Once the you can do updates and things like that on your how you're doing on it, but don't, if you finish it, wait till March 15th.
March.
God Almighty, come on, Pappy.
Come on.
Wait till March the 15th to drop your final. That way, everybody hits it, and our friends over at Auto Modeler Magazine, Mr. Scott Comer and Eddie, they are watching that. Matter of fact, the new issue number 8 just came out. Irvin's got a copy of it. They covered all of our USAC darts last year that we did, and I'm excited to get. I can't wait to get mine. Golly, man, I don't know why I ain't got it yet.
What the heck?
I got mine yesterday.
Did you get it? Yes. Yeah. Good coverage yesterday. In there. I'll tell you, man. We're in the 5th year, and this has been such a huge and fun project, group build for everyone. And Irv, March 15th. All right, please.
Yeah.
March 15th.
Yeah, overachiever.
What that turns that is like it. That the March 15th or mid-March, whatever the mid-March Sunday is where we kind of landed on, is now starting to turn into an official model car holiday, because all these great videos drop on YouTube on that day, and that's kind of what when Mark and I created this build, that was kind of part of our vision. It's like, man, that it just turns it into such a good thing.
This is what it's grown to.
That's what it's grown to.
And it's fun.
It's fun.
I just hope I don't do like Mark, fall down at the gas station and hit my head or something. So
boy.
we'll have to extend it to April.
Busted Head Productions, yeah.
Yep. All
right.
Anyhow, folks, we really do appreciate everybody watching today, listening. If you got anything you want to listen to better than us, must be bored.
Yeah, really. Oh, I like that. Let's close with that. All right. Well, and I will finish off with saying, well, here's the producers. You're muted, Fred. Can't hear you, bud. I believe it's on your.
That's how you unmute your ass. Look, man, I can stretch. I mean, it's not. The walls are white. It's not that pukey yellow no more. This is the same room it always has been.
Wow.
We just got rid of this pukey yellow. Still got this shitty carpet down here. It's probably got $100,000 worth of photo etching. I ain't kidding you. The guy, our contractor that's doing this, he's good friends of mine. He's a model builder also. But I told him, I said, when y'all rip that carpet out, any of the photo edits you find, you can have it.
You're muted. I don't know if I can unmute you.
No, he's not muted. Speak, Tim.
You hear me?
There, now I
I
can.
can hear you.
Yeah.
That's the one messed up.
Tim, you need some lighting or you need some makeup, bro.
Oh, God. He needs all the help he can get.
I'm a virgin at this.
Oh, my God. We're going to bust that cherry today.
This is Timmy's first podcast ever in the whole wide world.
Has your Camaro got a real nice box like mine?
What do you mean a real nice box?
Oh, jeez. He made a special carrying box.
Oh, you made that for me? Yeah, I do have a nice box. It's right there.
He didn't hear nothing you said. You got to repeat it.
That kind of box.
I do have a nice box. It's right there in your hand.
Are you using all that good stuff that Pam bought you years ago?
Just some of it. Don't tell her.
It's going to cost you, bro. Uh-oh. Yeah. We got to use Irv's
Oh, the
clapper.
clapperboard. Nice.
Yeah. We're going to get the clap from from Irv. I hope not literally.
Let's see if I won't screw this one up. You wanna hit the clicker, Irv? There we go. Look, he's got us all set. See that? Already has it set at take 2. What the hell, man? I don't even know the name of this podcast. What the heck? Look at that.
We officially have the clap.
Hey, VD's nothing to clap about.
Bare essentials. That's it.
Bare necessities.
Oh, gosh. We're going Disney now?
Bare necessities. Oh, that'll get us a copyright strike.
Thanks. That's the end of this show. All right. Well, 2 podcasts. Didn't even make it through the second one. It's over. Well, welcome back, all those model car. No. I don't like that.
We didn't like it either.
Yeah.
Drink some more coffee.
Bang.